I was born into a family of sharp minds, well versed in books, and honestly, that shaped me in more ways than one. Growing up, I devoured books like there was no tomorrow, and it paid off. When it came to women, I had this air of arrogance about me, but it was the charming kind, witty, well-read, and confident. I never had to try too hard. I could effortlessly quote obscure poems and pass them off as my own. Over the years, I had my fair share of passionate entanglements, both with young women and older ones. Some of them were even married, though I didn't always find out until later. At first, I was tormented by guilt, but then I just shrugged it off. What's done is done, right? But oh, who could have guessed that the infamous boomerang law would come back to bite me? Then came marriage. A little late, but it happened. The carefree years of my youth morphed into the skeptical cynicism of adulthood. Sophia was the one who hooked me. Cute, calm, sincere, and with that mysterious Mona Lisa smile of hers. I had to put her through a bunch of tests because, truth be told, I was insanely jealous. I wanted access to her phone, her email, her social media passwords, you name it. Sometimes I'd pop in unexpectedly, or I'd watch her at the gym, or even join her for coffee with friends. She reacted in different ways. Some days she'd get angry, and we'd argue. Other times she'd just sigh and roll with it. Before the wedding, Sophia's coworkers and boss held one final audition for me. She worked at a large, well-known company in the city, and her business trips were a constant source of tension for me. "So, what do you think about the team?" she asked teasingly after we returned from a corporate event. "They seem to be fine. I mean, there are a couple of weirdos, but the girls are cool." I winked at her, but she just smiled sarcastically. "Oh, you're a real expert on working with people, aren't you?" "They're all snakes," Sophia whispered conspiratorially, and continued to tell me some juicy stories about her colleagues. "Did you talk to Charles?" Sophia asked, mentioning her boss, who, by the way, shares my name almost exactly. "Yeah, we exchanged a couple of words. He seemed kinda grumpy, though, stayed in the corner all night." "Yeah, that's just him. He's always serious, too serious," she shrugged. We got married, and my jealousy started to fade. I wasn't stalking her anymore, only occasionally checking her messages or calls. Nothing fishy ever popped up. She kept going on business trips, but I didn't let it bother me. Those bachelor nights gave me the chance to unwind alone. And when she came back, I realized just how much I missed her. This one time, though, it all came rushing back. Sophia was in the shower, and I was just lounging in the bedroom when her phone rang. A number I didn't recognize flashed on the screen. Curiosity got the best of me, and I picked it up, a flicker of jealousy creeping back in. "Hello," I said, sounding a little impatient. "Good evening." A pleasant female voice greeted me, and I exhaled in relief. I almost hung up, thinking it was a wrong number. But then the woman spoke again. "Charles, I need to speak with you," she said with an upbeat tone. "Yeah," I said, slightly thrown off. "What's up?" "My name's Emma. I'm the hotel manager, and I've got some good news for you. The maid found your watch." She sounded so cheerful that I was almost expecting confetti to fall from the ceiling. "Okay," I responded, trying to make sense of it all. The thing is, I hadn't lost any watches. "Don't worry, we'll send it over by courier, or if you prefer, you can pick it up when you're back. You're one of our regulars, after all. We reserve only the best for such a wonderful couple," she chirped, clearly proud of herself. "Unfortunately, we don't have your number, so we tried calling Olivia, since she left us her contact details. Are you two always together?" The receptionist didn't stop talking. "I'll call you back," I cut her off, tired of the endless chatter. Of course, I understood everything right away. When Sophia stepped out of the shower, she froze under my heavy stare. That's when the showdown began. At first, she denied everything, but eventually, she broke down and admitted it. She'd been sleeping with her boss for a while now. She even started crying, claiming he pressured her, that she was scared of losing her job. Poor thing. But when I asked why she didn't leave him if she was so unhappy, especially since I was doing just fine financially, she had no answer. I'll never forget that conversation. It was painful, ugly. When I was packing my things and heading for the door, she dropped a bombshell that stung almost as much as the betrayal. "I've wanted him for a long time," she said with a sly grin. "He's so bossy. You used to be like that." "And how exactly?" I asked, completely confused. "When you were jealous and controlling, I liked it. I liked obeying," she said. "I just walked out, filed for divorce, and we stopped talking." A few months later, I was scrolling through a local social media group when I saw a post about the company she worked for. The name caught my eye, so I clicked on it. The news was almost too ridiculous. Her boss, my namesake, the so-called domineering one, had organized a men's corporate party at a sauna, got wasted, and couldn't even appreciate the women around him. Instead, he caused a scene, and the police had to show up to subdue him. To top it off, videos from the party and his arrest leaked online. The call from Sophia wasn't far behind. She clearly thought I wouldn't find out about her new man's adventures, and started with all the familiar dramatic lines. "I love him. I can't live without him. I miss him. I'm sorry." She sobbed on the other end. In the end, she told me she'd left him and quit her job. I was once again taken aback by how easily she could lie and twist the truth, but I didn't engage further. The divorce went through, and I wasn't too torn up about it. I'd survive. I would survive him, too, and this chapter of my life. But there's one thought I can't shake. I spent so much time trying to overcome my jealousy, thinking I was suffocating her, only to find out that my insecurities were exactly what she was drawn to. An honest, trusting relationship seemed dull and slow to her. How many more contradictions, oddities, and mysteries do women really hold inside?